Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the schedule and the tribal areas. Okay, this is the topic on which we have been discussing. All right. In this topic, or you can say under this particular series of schedule and tribals, these all are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion. Like starting with the introduction, then the schedule areas in India, an overview of them, then the criteria for identification of schedule areas, then the constitutional provisions and the governance, then the concerns related to the schedule areas, then the administration of the schedule areas, what is the administration of them, then the scheduled tribes, okay, then the general concerns for the tribal community, then addressing the challenges they have, then significance of the indigenous communities, like what are the significance of them, why we are talking about them, what is the you can say benefit that we are getting from them. Then the problems faced by the tribal groups, what are the problems they are facing, then the conclusion, and last is the administration of the tribal areas. All right, so this is the picture that we have you can say schedule for the discussion. If we talk about the picture that we have covered, okay, so basically we have done with the introduction part. That is the topic that we have covered. Schedule areas in India, an overview of this basically we are discussing. And the criteria for identification of the schedule areas, we haven't started. Constitutional provisions and governance, we haven't started. Concerns related to the schedule areas, we haven't started. Administration of schedule areas, we haven't started. The scheduled tribes, we haven't started. General concerns of the tribal community, we haven't started. Addressing the challenges, we haven't started. Significance of the indigenous communities, we haven't started. Problems faced by tribal groups, we haven't started. Conclusion, we haven't started. The administration of schedule areas, we haven't started. Okay. So we can say that this is the picture that we have created so far altogether. Before starting this, I hope that you have covered the previous lecture in the well enough manner. And also I will check it out. How? I will ask you the question that is going to be the questions from the you can say the previous lecture that we have just covered. All right. And then you are required to answer them. So the first question is that which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the scheduled areas and provides the provisions for the scheduled areas? You are required to tell me the name of that particular article. To answer this, I will give you the 30 seconds and your time is going to be start now. So you have 30 seconds to answer. We have just covered it in the previous lecture. So I'm expecting the right answer from all of you. The 10 seconds have been passed, 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Okay, the time's up. So the correct answer is Article 244 or Article 244 is the article that deals with the, you can say, the schedule areas. The next question that I'm going to ask you is also related with that field. Which part of Indian Constitution deals with the tribal areas or the schedule areas, you can say? Again, I'm repeating. Which part of the Indian Constitution deals with the scheduled and the tribal areas? To answer this question, again, I will grant you 30 seconds to think and answer, and your time is going to be start now. Just think about it. This is also we have covered in the previous lecture, so I'm expecting the right answer. 10 seconds have been passed off, last 20s are remaining. All right. Okay, students. So the last 10 seconds are remaining. Okay, so the time is going to be up. The time is up. So the correct answer is part 10 of the Indian Constitution. The part 10 of the Indian Constitution basically deals with the schedule and the tribal areas. The next question is that I'm going to ask you, which schedules of the Indian Constitution deals with the schedule and the tribal areas? Again, I'm repeating, which schedules of the Indian Constitution deals with the schedule and the tribal areas? 30 seconds you will have to answer this question, and your time is going to be start now. This is also we have covered in the previous lecture, so I'm expecting the right answer from all of you. All right, 10 seconds have been passed, last 20s are remaining. Okay, the last 10 seconds are remaining. Last 5 seconds. Time's up. So the correct answer is Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. Schedule 5 deals with the administration of the tribals in the 10 states of the country, while the Schedule 6 deals with the 4 northeastern states. Okay, so these are some questions that we had covered from the previous lecture. So in the introduction part, basically we have seen that there is Article 244 of the Constitution and Part 10 that deals with the special system of administration for the certain areas that are designated as then schedule areas and the tribal areas. Got it? We have seen that the 5th schedule of the Constitution deals with the administration and controls of schedule areas and scheduled tribes in any states of this country, excepting the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. These are the 4 states that are basically administration is excluding. Then the 6th schedule of the Constitution, on the other hand, deals with the tribal areas and their administration in these 4 states: the Assam, the Meghalaya, the Tripura, and the Mizoram. All right, that is what we have seen. Thereafter, we have seen the schedule areas, the definition of them. Okay, so these are the designated areas under the 5th and the 6th schedules of the Indian Constitution. And these areas are those areas which having the significant population of the STs or the scheduled tribes. Okay, and basically under these schedules, we have given them the special provisions and autonomy to protect the interests and promote their development. Okay, that's the thing. Thereafter, in the 5th schedule, basically we have done the administration and the control of scheduled areas and the scheduled tribes in various states. These are total 10 states in number. All right, whereas the 6th schedule deals with the administration of the tribal areas in 4 northeastern states, and these states are the states of Assam, okay, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Okay, these are the northeastern states and the 4 northeastern states which are included in the 6th schedule. So if we're talking about the northeast, then there is one thing that I'm going to ask you, and the question is that which states are considered as a 7th sister in India? Or you can say which northeastern states are considered as a 7th sisters in India? And to answer this question again, I will give you 30 seconds. Okay, the answer of this I had already provided in the previous lecture, so if you have revised it, you will be answered. Time starts now. Ten seconds have been passed, last 20s are remaining. Okay, the last 10 seconds are remaining. All right, the time's up. So the correct answer is Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, and Nagaland. Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Mizoram, Manipur, Meghalaya, Tripura, or Nagaland. These are the states that lies in the northeast and that forms a part of Seven Sister. And the Siliguri corridor, that is also known as the Chicken Neck, that lies in the state of Sikkim. All right. So remember this thing. After this, if we talk about the coverage and the population. Coverage and the population. So what is the significant coverage and the population the tribals have in this country? All right. That is also important from the examination point of view and also important in order to understand the concept of schedule and the tribal areas. Why? As I have told you, like the schedule and the tribal areas and any topic, doesn't matter this topic particularly, any topic. If you want to understand it properly, the one thing that you can do is that try to understand the various concepts related to it. Okay. If you will try to cover the topic just only for passing your examination, you won't be able to grasp the good exam numbers. Why? Because the examiner is driving the questions not only from the topic you are covering, not only from that topic. Okay. If you are covering the schedule areas, then they will ask you like which state having this population, this. No. They will also try to ask the question in the examination and the questions are from the relevant fields. What I'm saying? Relevant field. I'm not saying the same field. I'm saying the relevant fields. All right. So that's why it's become important that you are not only supposed to cover the topic that you are studying, but also the relevant facts. Okay. So if we talk about the land area that has been granted under the schedule areas, okay, then it is approximately 11.3%. Okay, 11.3% is the total area. Okay, that is the thing of India's total land area. Got it? All right. So whatsoever the total land area India contains, basically approximately 11.3% of it we have designated as a schedule areas. Okay. And if you look at this number, 11.3%, that is not a small number. Okay. This is not 1%. This is not 0.3%. This is 11.3%. That indicates the significant geographical spread. That indicates a significant geographical spread the schedule and the tribal areas have in the country. If we talk about the population, if we talk about it, so these areas, this 11.3% of land area is basically inhabited by various scheduled tribe communities, various ST communities. And if we talk about their total population, so that is approximately 8.6% of the country's total population. Okay, so what is the population as total in the country? The 8.6% of it is basically the tribal population. And that highlights the concentration of ST communities in these regions. So you can say not only in the matters of the land, not only in the matters of the land, that is 11.3%, also in the matters of the population, the scheduled areas are having that much of capacity. Okay, it means they cover 11.3% in land and 8.6% in population. That's make them the significant portion of India's landmass as well as India's population. And thus we could not ignore them. Got it? That's the thing. Okay. So now we are going to see the states with the scheduled areas. Okay. Like we have seen, basically the scheduled areas are the areas that are mentioned under the 5th and the 6th schedule of the Constitution. And we know the 5th schedule deals with the 10 states, deals with the 10 states of the country that having the areas that we have been designated under the term of scheduled areas. Okay. And then the 6th schedule. The sixth schedule is containing the states that are having the schedule areas that have been designated as a schedule under the sixth schedule. Okay. So what are the name of these states? That what we are going to see. All right. So basically, if we talk about the first one, that is our fifth schedule states, then we know the fifth schedule deals with the states, 10 states in the number. All right, excepting the fourth northeastern states with which deals the sixth schedule. So these states are the states of Andhra Pradesh, the state of Telangana, the state of Odisha, the state of Jharkhand, the state of Chhattisgarh, the state of Madhya Pradesh, the state of Rajasthan, the state of Gujarat, the state of Maharashtra, and last the Himachal Pradesh. Okay. So these states are the states that having the schedule areas that have been designated under the fifth schedule. Okay. And these are 10 in number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. These states are 10 in number. So if we are talking about the schedule areas, then I remember the thing. And the thing is that in the previous lecture, I have asked you the question. And basically not the question. Basically, I was explaining the story of the travel areas and all. So basically, I mentioned about the particular tribe that has been settled down in the Rajmahal Hills by the Britishers. Right? So now you are required to tell me the name of that particular tribe. What was the name of that tribe? To answer this question, I will give you the 30 seconds, and already we have discussed this topic in the previous. So I'm hoping the right answer. Time starts now. Okay, the 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Okay, last 10 seconds are remaining. Time's up. So the correct answer is Santhals. Santhals was a tribe that had been settled down in the Rajmahal Hills to eradicate the Pahadias tribes that were attacking the Britishers. Okay, Britishers helped Santhals to make the settlement that we call the Damene Ko. All right, but later on, because of the British policies and because of the suppression by the moneylenders, the Santhals revolted against the British. The entire story I had told you in the previous lecture. All right. So if you have revised the previous lecture, you will be able to answer this question right now. So if we look at these few states, okay, if we will look at this, so what you are getting, if you have been studying the things properly, if you are preparing for the competitive exams, then you will notice one thing here that is quite obvious and that is clearly visible. And what is that thing? If you will look at the states, you will find that some of the states were the part of the red corridor. Do you know the red corridor? What is the red corridor? So now it is also the question I'm going to ask you, like, what do you understand by the red corridor? What is the meaning of the red corridor? And how, when the red corridor was started, that all I will explain you in detailed form. But before this, I will ask you the meaning of the red corridor, what you get from it. All right. So your time is going to start now. Tenure of 30 seconds have been granted to you. 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Time's up. So basically, if we talk about it, then remember the red corridor is the area which is having the Naxalism. All right. Do you know Naxal? Insurgency and all. So basically what happened, if we talk about the story of the Naxalism. Okay. So this is the very important topic and also the story that is interesting, but also a worrying story. Okay. So what happened, like when we got the independence, okay. So because of the long term policies of the Britishers, because of their suppressing policies and all, the tribals were not so much happy with the India. Okay. So when we got independence, basically we had various challenges. In order to address these challenges, we neglected the issues that were facing by the tribal areas, and even the encroachment of land through the refugees and all, even the clashes between the different tribes and all, that led us to the high, you can say, value of dissatisfaction amongst the tribals. Then basically there is a place in the region of West Bengal that is called the Naxalbari. Naxalbari is the village area. In this village area, nearly about the year of 1967, if I'm not wrong, nearly about this year, the insurgency was started. Okay, the separatist group were formed and they were demanding the government to look after their issues, to look after the problems they are facing. All right. On the starting, the movement was political movement. Okay, the movement was not a militant movement. But after a few years, after several times, because of the government policies, the neglection and all, that movement turned into the Naxalite movement, or you can say the militant movement. In the world, we recognize it as a Maoist movement. Okay, so basically the Naxal had the communist approach. Okay, they claim that the government is not doing the beneficial things for the population of the tribal peoples. Okay, and to fulfill their aspirations, basically they choose the way of weapons. They are using the weapons, they are attacking the government establishments, the police forces, the military forces, the paramilitary forces, whichsoever stationed in the states. All right, and nearly about 2006 to 2010. Okay, that was the time period when the Naxal was at peak. Okay, even you can say the prime minister of the country said that the Naxals are the more dangerous thing to the nation than the terrorism. Okay, why? Because the Naxals were the part of the country and they were trying to destroy the peace and the harmony amongst the communities, amongst the different segments while residing in the country. All right. So that's how the Naxal starts. However, still today the Naxals remains in the country, but the situation is somewhat controlled situation at some extent. So if we talk about the states that were highly affected to the Red Corridor, so the state of Andhra Pradesh, the state of Telangana, Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, some part of Madhya Pradesh, okay, and the Maharashtra. These are the states that were that once a part of the Red Corridor, and still some states having the Red Corridor, you can say calamities. But however, the progress has been seen, okay, in upliftment of tribal areas, okay, the indulgement of the tribal people in the mainstream, but still the problem of Naxalite and all is not undergone. Okay, the things are still very much fearless for us. Okay, then the states like the Rajasthan, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh. These also have seen the tribal movements in the past, but those movements were not as much the movements of militant approach that had been seen in that areas. Okay. Thereafter comes our sixth schedule. Sixth schedule states. We know the six schedule states are the states of Assam, the states of Meghalaya, the states of Tripura, and the states of Mizoram. These states are also the part of the Red Corridor or the Northeast Insurgency. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram, these states are still affected by the Naxalism, still affected by the militancy. Okay, so these areas are still facing the issues of tribal areas. However, through the schedules, we were trying to provide them the special, you can say, the administration purposes, but still their aspirations has not been fully satisfied, and that's why we can see the different types of you can say the aggregations against the state of India through the tribal peoples. Okay, so students, basically in this lecture we have finished till here. In the next lecture we will continue from here. Till then, just revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture. Be ready for the another lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture, and what we say thank you.